I'm gonna give you guys the top 10 best class setups or loadouts in Warzone 3. Now, this is gonna be everything that you absolutely need, and I wanted to start out with something that's absolutely insane. So they once again buffed the Bruen Mk9, so this is the weapon I want to start out with. By the way, guys, I'm live right now, so if you guys click on the link in the description, you guys will see me live, and I'm actually gonna pick some of you guys up, and we're gonna give away some COD points. Start out with the VT7 Spirit Fire Suppressor for being undetectable by the radar, recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range. You do lose some aim down sight speed, aim walk awareness, and sprint to fire speed, but that's not a big deal. Trust me, this is the best possible choice. I don't recommend any other muzzle just because you can actually stay off the radar and you get the most bang for your buck. Next, put on the 23-inch XRK Horizon V2 for bullet velocity, gun kick control, and recoil control at the cost of aim down sight speed, aim walking speed, and movement speed. I don't really recommend any other ones. Like, this is pretty decent, but I just don't think that the trade-off is really worth it. Like, if you look at the pros, I mean, they do look really nice, but in my opinion, you actually do get more benefit with the recoil, gun kick control, horizontal recoil, and vertical recoil versus just this, where you get the effective damage range buff when you already do have good effective damage range, and you can get more benefit with the all-around bullet velocity and recoil control. Next, put on the Bruen Heavy Support Grip for gun kick control, aiming out of sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. I've tested every single one of these, and I think this is the best possible choice. 60-round mag, and I know it sounds counterproductive to some people, but trust me, this is the best possible choice. First of all, you get an increase of aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and reload quickness. And the only downside is you have a little bit less bullets than you would have started with, but your reload is basically instant. Now, the last thing is I put on the Jack Glassless Optic. Now, it may be confusing to some of you guys. Like, some of you guys may think that you would use a Choreo Eagle's Eye. This attachment right here is a game changer. It makes it feel like there's absolutely no recoil. I'm going to show you guys right now. So when you get into the game, this is what it's actually going to feel like. It looks like I'm barely even trying to control it. And to show you guys the fast reload, that's instant. It's absolutely insane just how fast this gets the job done. And that's why I say this has to be one of the best long-range weapons right now. So here's the entire class setup right here. If you guys haven't already, please take a picture of this. And I have a ton more class setups on my live stream. So if you guys are watching this right now, make sure you guys click over there so that you guys can actually enjoy the live. You can have fun. Like I said, we can give away some more COD points, and I can give you guys more class setups like this. Next is possibly the fastest SMG in the game right now. I'm surprised that other people aren't using this, but you guys are going to be able to use this and pop off. Throw on the MW3 compensated flash hider. It shortens the radar ping, vertical recoil, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability. You do lose some bullet velocity and aim down sight speed, but we're going to take care of that. Put on the FSS Imperator light barrel. Now, this is something I was really thinking about for a long time. I was thinking, should I put this on there? Should I not put this on there? And after going through all these and, really testing them out thoroughly, I've noticed that this is giving the best result. First off, it helps aim walk speed, bullet velocity, and damage range. And you do lose some gun kick control, recoil control, but we're going to take care of that later on. Put on the Bruen Heavy Support Grip for gun kick control, aiming out sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of vertical recoil and aim down sight speed. I did have the DR6 hand stop initially. And don't get me wrong, the DR6 hand stop is pretty useful when you don't have this barrel on there. But because I put the barrel on there, I think the DR6 hand stop is kind of unnecessary. Actually, it would be pretty useful, say, if you're playing solos, because then you basically have the max movement, but you are going to compromise some recoil control. I didn't want to do that, so I just kept the DR6 hand stop off and put on the Bruen Heavy Support Grip. Next, I put on the 50-round mag. Now, you can put on 40. It's completely up to you, whichever the situation. I mean, they're both pretty useful. I don't think the cons are actually that bad either way. Last but not least, I put on the Retort 90 grip tape for firing aim stability, gun kick control, and recoil control at the cost of aiming idle sway. And now I'll show you guys what I've actually been waiting for. This thing is absolutely amazing. It's basically you flying around the map, and people aren't going to be able to catch you. Like, it's so insane how fast this weapon is. You're going to be flying around the corner, and all your strafe speed and everything is going to make you a very hard target. That's why I say this SMG right here, the HRM-9, is probably one of the most useful SMGs in the game right now. If you're just going to be able to fly around the enemies, them not be able to catch you, and you just laser them, then this is the best possible class setup to use for an SMG, I would say. So make sure you guys copy this class setup down. If anything, please, if you don't copy any other class setup down, this is the one that you want to copy. AMR-9 is effectively one of the best weapons in the game right now, and I have to show you guys the class. Make sure you guys put on the Nimbus 6 integrated suppressor for being undetectable by the radar, bullet velocity, and range at the cost of sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed. That's not a big deal. Trust me, we're going to take care of that. Put on the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop for sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed, vertical recoil, and gun kick control at the cost of hip fire attack stand spread and horizontal recoil. Next, put on the 50-round mag because it's a happy medium between the 100 and the 20. I just don't think that the 100 is necessary and 20 is way too little. middle. This will help you out plenty and it'll get the job done. It's very interesting that it says it holds 40 even though it holds 50. Slate reflector, but you actually don't need to run slate reflector. You can run the glassless, which will actually be insane if you guys don't mind a little bit of a aim down sight speed penalty, or if you don't want that. One of my personal favorites is actually the Niter. The Niter model 2023 is insane, and I think it'll do really good for you guys. And last but not least, the Wolfhound carbine stock for gun kick control and recoil control at the cost of aim down sight speed. You guys see just how easy it is to actually use this gun. It's actually ridiculous. I would say even at long range, it gets the job done. I have to show you guys. So long range engagement, all you guys have to do is make sure you hit some of your targets and you get the job done. So here's the entire class setup. Make sure you guys are copying this down because the AMR-9 will save you in plenty of situations that you would not expect. Make sure you guys have an AMR-9 class. Holger 556 again, but we're going to give you an updated class. Start out with the VT7 Spiritfire Suppressor for being undetectable by the radar, recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range. You do lose some aim down sight speed, aim walking steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. Not a big deal. Trust me. This build right here is going to have 0 recoil and it's going to be incredibly mobile. Next, put on the Cheerios 6 match for bullet velocity and range, recoil control, and gun kick control. You do lose some aim down sight speed, aiming out sway, and sprint to fire speed, but like I said, don't worry about it. Next, we're going to put on the 40 round mag. Now, you do get a reduction of movement speed and all that, but trust me, this is already an incredibly mobile weapon, so don't worry about it. Next, put on the RB Adult Assault stock for recoil control and gun kick control at the cost of aim down sight speed. And the last thing you're going to put on is the Jack Glasses optic for precision, sight, picture, and firing aim stability. You lose some aim down sight speed, but I can't wait to show you the outcome. The Holger 556 is kind of difficult for some people to use. They don't have a good control of the recoil, so I wanted to make a build that was actually incredibly easy to use, and this is that one right here. I think this build right here is going to be the least difficult overall meta to actually use. If you want to make it even easier, I give you guys a better choice. So here's the entire class setup right here, but if you guys don't want to use this muzzle and you guys want even less recoil, I have something for you. So you guys go over to the right, and you can either use one of two things. You can use the Cassis brake, or you can use the X10 ported 290. Now, I know this is something that people don't really recommend, but this thing is absolutely insane. Look at the positive stats. So I'm going to show you the two, and you make a choice. So this is the Cassis brake right here. Check this out. I don't think it really moves. I think it's pretty solid. Stays in one spot. You can take that off, or if you don't want to use that, you can use the X10 ported, like I said before. X10 ported 290. I think this thing is absolute laser. Literally does not move. So you guys have multiple choices. Whatever you guys want to use, completely up to you. It all gets the job done. HRM-9, because this thing is taking over in both casual and competitive play. First thing you're going to want to throw on is the Zemin 35 compensated flash hider. Now, this shortens the radar pings, which is actually fantastic. But the next thing is it helps with the vertical recoil, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability. Now, you do get a reduction of bullet velocity and aim down sight speed, which you notice is a 5% reduction, but I don't really think that's big of a deal. Now, if you can't handle the Zemin 35 compensated and you don't want to deal with that, we do have an alternative. It's the L4R flash hider. L4R flash hider, all you do is get a reduction of aim down sight speed, but it has the same benefits. Now, you don't get the vertical recoil boost that you would get in the previous one, but look at this. It also helps with the 13% on recoil, horizontal, and vertical. It's just not specifically vertical. In fact, the previous one helps with vertical a negative 15% versus this helps 13%. So you weigh your options, whichever one you want, you can use. Next, throw in the Thorn 90 barrel for hip fire attack, stand spread, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and sprint speed. You do lose recoil control and aiming out of sway, but it's not a big deal, and I don't think you're going to even notice. Next, put on the DR6 hand stop for aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed. Once again, you get a reduction of hip fire attack, stand spread, and aim walking steadiness, but it's not a big deal. Put on the 50 round drum because there's really no better alternative. I think this is the best possible choice. And the last attachment is the folding stock. This helps with recoil control, gun kick control, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed, which is not a big deal for this gun. This gun is ridiculously easy to use at honestly all ranges. I would say even at long range it does a good job. I just wanted to reload all the way so I could actually show you guys. This thing actually does a fantastic job at long range. Just make sure you actually choose your gunfights wisely. I would recommend staying at the short to medium range with this gun. And to show you guys the entire class setup, here's the HRM-9 right here. And real quick, I want you guys to comment what your favorite gun is in Warzone 3 or Modern Warfare 3 for some COD points. Next is the SOA Subverter. I actually think this is the best long-range weapon in the game right now, so I gotta show it to you guys. Throw on the Cassis brake L for horizontal recoil and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed. I would actually give a similar recommendation as the one I did earlier, but instead Tempest GH50. So if you guys want to use a Cassis or the Tempest, completely up to you. You do get more reduction of aim down sight speed with the Tempest, but I think the Cassis is more than enough. For them, the Dozer 90 long barrel for bullet velocity and range firing, aim stability, gun kick control, and recoil control at the cost of aim walking speed, sprint to fire speeds, aim walking steadiness, and aim down sight speed. Next, put on the Bruen Heavy support grip for gun kick control, aiming idle sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability. You do lose some aim down sight speed and vertical recoil, but trust me, this is the one you want to have. I've tested every single one of these big ones right here, and I think the Bruen Heavy support grip is the best choice. 50 round drum, I think there's just no better alternative. You don't want to have less just because this is basically an AR. I mean, it's a battle rifle, but why would you rather have 30 than 50? Last but not least, I put on the Motion V2 heavy stock for recoil control and gun kick control at the cost of aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. Just check this out. This is literally the ACR. Like, it's actually insane that this thing does not move. It has a pretty decent recoil for, reload for a drum. The lack of recoil and the fast time to kill makes this thing an absolute force to be reckoned with. So I highly recommend trying this out. And if you guys do want to be risky and you want to use the Tempest GH50, I can show you guys that too. I think it's just as crazy in my opinion. I mean, I think the Cassis is kind of better. That's whatever you guys want to use, completely up to you. I'm going to stick to the Cassis, but here's the entire class setup for the SOA Subverter. Next is the WSP-9. Now, I actually think this is another overall best SMG in the game. It actually is dangerous at all ranges, where the HRM is really good at close and medium range. This is insane at every single range, but it's a bit slower. On the Zemin 35 compensated flash hider for shorter radar pings, vertical recoil, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability. You do lose some bullet velocity and aim down sight speed, but this thing has an insane amount of bullet velocity. Next, throw on the DR6 hand stop for aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed at the cost of hip fire and tack stand spread, and aim walking steadiness. Throw on the 9mm high grain rounds for bullet velocity and damage range at the cost of recoil control. Now, the reason I threw this on there is because initially I had something else on there, but I realized that this is more beneficial. Now, check this out. It helps with bullet velocity, effective damage range, and minimum damage range by 15%. What I was initially using was a Wasp Reckless 90 long barrel, and you see it only helps by 12%, 12%, and 6%. I just don't think the trade-off is worth it. Next is a 40 round mag. If you want to use 50, it's completely up to you, but I just think the cons end up getting a little too high. I think if you look at these two, I mean, you have to weigh your options. Do you really want this much of a trade-off? And if you're okay with it, feel free, but I like the 40. I think it's the best possible choice. And the last attachment is my personal preference, the Niter Model 2023. This thing is super busted and super easy to use. In my opinion, it is actually one of the best SMGs in the game. I want to show you guys, like, even at long range, you can get your shots on point. It's absolutely lethal. Now, I would recommend keeping it to short to medium range just because with an SMG, it is ideal to keep the gunfights at short to medium range. But you see, you actually can hit your shots and take someone out in long range if you really try. So here's the entire class right here. Please take a picture, take a screenshot, whatever you guys need to do, or if you guys just want to copy the class right now. The WSP-9 is absolutely amazing, and I'll say that it actually is the best SMG, but the HRM-9 lovers will most likely fight me for that. The Ram-7 is an absolutely amazing assault rifle. I would say it's the best assault rifle in the game. You know, the MTZ-762 is technically a battle rifle. This would be the best assault rifle in the game. Go on the Cassis brake for horizontal recoil and firing aim stability at the cost of some aim down sight speed. Trust me, there's no better alternative. Not at all. This is the best choice. Next, throw on the Cronin Headwind long barrel for bullet velocity and range, aiming out sway and firing aim stability at the cost of hip fire and tack stand spread, aim walking speed, and sprint to fire speed. Trust me, this is the best possible choice. You want as much bullet velocity and range as possible for this build. Next, throw on the Bruen Heavy support grip for gun kick control, aiming out sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. Now, I went through every single one of these, and this is the best possible choice, especially for this gun. Next, throw on the 60 round drum. You just don't really want to run anything else. I think this is the best possible choice. And the last attachment is the HVS 3.4 pad for gun kick control, recoil control at the cost of sprint to fire speed, sprint speed, and movement speed. Now check this out. This thing literally has zero recoil. It's actually kind of scary. Like, it does not move. I genuinely am so shocked that they made this gun as good as it is. It does have a tiny bit of recoil, but when I say no recoil, you can literally hold your thumbstick down just a little bit and it counteracts the entire thing of recoil. That's why I say this thing has no recoil, because it's super easy to control, and in my opinion, just makes it one of the best guns in the game. So here's the entire class setup right here. Please, if you guys don't take any other class setup, please copy this class setup down, because this class setup right here is absolutely broken. You'll do great in any game mode. The MTZ-762 is absolutely busted, and I wanted to give you guys this class because it has no recoil. Throwing the cast is break L for horizontal recoil, firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed. Now this is not a big deal. Now, if you guys want to stay off the map and you guys want to have a silencer, then what I would recommend is the VT7 Spirit Fire Suppressor L. This is undetectable by radar, recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range at the cost of aim down sight speed, aim walking steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. No matter what, make sure you put on the MTZ Precision Blackthorn Barrel. This helps with bullet velocity and range, aiming out of sway, and firing aim stability. Now, you do lose some hip fire and tack stand spread and aim walking speed. I see some people out there actually using the MTZ Clinch Pro Barrel if you want some more recoil control and gun kick control, but with the initial build, I just don't think it needs any more. Throwing the Bruen Pivot Vertical Grip for gun kick control, vertical recoil, aiming out of sway, and firing aim stability at the cost of horizontal recoil, aim down sight speed, and sprint to fire speed. The reason I chose this over, say, the Bruen Heavy Support Grip is because this is specifically for vertical recoil. This gun kicks vertically, so you gotta make sure you have something to balance that out. 30 round mag, because there's just no alternative. If you could have 40, trust me, I would throw it on there, but since we can only have 30, this is what you want to put on there. And last but not least, the Coil Eagle's Eye 2.5 times. I see people using the iron sights more recently, but this is what I like to use. So if you guys want to use the iron sights, feel free and just throw on another attachment. The attachment would most likely be the EXF Close Quarters Assault stock for recoil control and gun kick control, just to make it even more of a laser. But just show you guys how easy it is to actually use this weapon. Check this thing out. It's just absolutely busted. It has zero recoil, basically all ranges. Like, it does bounce a little bit, but it's like so controllable that it's not even really a noticeable bounce. Like, see, even at long range, it's just super easy to control. So this is, in my opinion, the best long range weapon. Please make this class. If you need to take a picture or whatever, feel free. But this thing is absolutely amazing. It's busted. I haven't really used the conversion kit. I see some people actually using it, but it's just not my cup of tea. So if you guys want to use it, feel free. But this is what I highly recommend. People may be sleeping on the Sidewinder, but not you. This may be one of the best guns in the game right now, so I have to show you guys the class. So on the Tempest GH50 for gun kick control, recoil control, and horizontal recoil at the cost of aim down sight speed and aiming idle sweat. Next on the Tempest Predator Precision Barrel for bullet velocity, recoil control, gun kick control, and aiming idle sway at the cost of movement speed, hip fire attack stand spread, aim walking speed, and sprint to fire speed. Next, put on the Bruen Heavy Support Grip for gun kick control, aiming idle sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. 30 round drum, just because there's no better choice. And the RB Borealis Grip for firing aim stability, gun kick control, recoil control at the cost of aiming idle sway. This thing absolutely melts, and it takes basically no effort to melt. It hits the body like an absolute tank, and at long range, it just absolutely does damage. So this is something that you absolutely have to try out as soon as you guys can, because it's just an absolute specimen of a weapon. If you guys have not tried out the Sidewinder yet, after it recently got buffed, you need to use it right now. Here's the entire class. Make sure you guys copy it down. I know you guys are going to absolutely love it. And finally, for my snipers, I have something for you guys. The FJX Imperium. This can actually body shot and be a one shot. They're on the Sonic Suppressor L for being undetectable by the radar, bullet velocity and range at the cost of sprint to fire speed, aim walking steadiness, and recoil control. Next, put on the VLK Laser 7 MW for aiming stability, aim down sight speed, and sprint to fire speed at the cost of laser being visible in ADS. Not a big deal. Put on the .408 explosive for explosive impact damage range or vehicle damage at the cost of bullet velocity and bullet penetration. Put on the Skull 44 for sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed at the cost of flinch resistance, recoil control, and gun kick control. Now, this is something you have to keep in mind. If you don't have to deal with that, you can take it off and put something else on, but this does help with sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. Last but not least, put on the Rib 400 for aiming out of sway, gun kick control, recoil control, and hip fire spread at the cost of crouch movement speed, sprint speed, aim walking speed, and aim down sight speed. Like I said, you can actually hit the chest in one shot, which is insane. Like, this is one of the few snipers that can actually do that. So if you have not tried this gun out yet, please try this class setup out. You'll be very happy. You'll be very proud to get one shots, and you'll get the job done very easily. So if you made it to all 10 of these loadouts, I want you guys to comment which one is your favorite, and I'm going to shout some of you guys out in the next video.